The end of the year is upon us. I am the supplier, and this is my top 12 of 2012. So my goal was 200, and as of today I've read 194 toward that 200. I finished my 194th today. Yay! Anyway, it was very, very hard to go through those 193 yesterday books and figure out what my top 12 books were. As I was pulling books for this video, I realized that many of the books that are on my top 12 list come from 2012. So I'm going to give you the two that don't come from 2012 first. First of those is Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Now, I don't know why I didn't read this sooner after having seen like a cult following on Tumblr, but it's awesome, and I probably read it 6 times at least. And then I took a Sharpie and wrote, "Remember, participate. Love always, Charlie," on the front, because I am very much an introvert and I need to remember to go participate, and he reminds me to participate. And I was walking around with it in my pocket. It replaced Dubliners as my pocketbook. And then I lent it to somebody, and I really want to go get another copy. And then the second one that didn't come from 2012 is Post Secret. One of my friends recently lent me her Post Secret collection, and I went through them in about 2 days, and these are books that make you feel all the feels. I talked about it in my video on Sunday. And if you didn't go check out postsecret.com then, go check out postsecret.com now, because it is awesome and it will make you feel all the feels. I have 2 books in my collection. I've got 2 books in my stack that I don't have because they're either on the feature shelf in my classroom or because it is out with a student. The first of those is Every Day by David Levithan, and the second is Unholy by Neil Shusterman, and both of those books were jump up and down, oh my god, everybody needs to read these kind of books. 5 of 12 is Sun by Lois Lowry, which is the 4th and final book in the Giver Quartet. If you haven't read The Giver, read The Giver. It's one of those hit or miss kind of novels. A lot of people like it, a lot of people don't like it. So, and I've actually heard the same thing about Sun. I really enjoyed it because I wanted to know what happened, or what happened to and the backstory for some of the characters, and this takes care of that. 6 is Bitter Blue by Kristen Kashor. This is the 3rd book in the, I don't remember what it's called now. I think at one point it was called 7 Kingdoms, and now it's called the Graceling something or other. And, yep, awesome. If you like books with kick-ass female characters, Bitter Blue, Graceling, and Fire are books for you. 7 is Boy 21 by Matthew Quick, which is aliens meet basketball, meet the Irish mob. 8 is The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate. I picked this one up because I decided this year I was going to make a concerted effort to read more middle grade fiction, even though I teach 8th graders and they want to think they're grown, so they want to read the things that the high school kids read. This one is about a gorilla who is in a circus in a mall kind of deal. 9 is One for the Murphys by Linda Mullally Hunt, who I've talked about quite a bit lately because of something she did for one of my students that was awesome, and I talked about it on a Sunday. I'll link to the video someplace on the page. But this one made me feel all the feels. It's another one of those books that I was like, oh my god, you have to read it, oh my god, you have to read it, oh my god, you have to read it. And so I actually just recently got my copy back because I kept giving it to people. If that says anything about the awesomeness of One for the Murphys. I do realize that this is my top 12, so I'm like jump up and down excited about all of these books. But, you know, you can't say too much that a book is awesome. So, moving on. 10, I Love You. 10, It Is Such Wicked Intent by Kenneth Opel. It was the 2nd book in the Apprenticeship of Victor Frankenstein series following This Dark Endeavor. What was particularly interesting for me was I assigned this dark endeavor to my graduate students, and when we were talking about books that help adolescent readers now connect with classic literature, and they were kind of like, about it, but at the same time they were reading that, I was reading this and, you know, doing my whole jump up and down, oh my god, this is awesome thing, and, well, I hope they didn't think I was crazy. 11 is one of those books that I picked up, again, because of Twitter pressure, not really pressure. It was recommended by a friend of mine, and I believe the book to be awesome, however, it is disturbing as crap, and I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this one in, you know, booktuber land. I don't know if it is I stopped looking or just nobody else has read it yet, but it is Butter by Erin Jade Lange, who I got to talk to a little bit, who is also quite awesome, by the way. It's about a kid who's been nicknamed Butter, who is rather large. He's also a musician, but because of bullying and some other factors, he has decided that he is going to do death by food on the internet, and he sets up this website and people follow it, and essentially he becomes popular just because people want to see if he's going to follow through, and that's part of what propelled me through this book, was I wanted to find out if he was going to follow through. And that's kind of morbid and scary, and I'm going to stop talking about this now, but you should read it because it's awesome. And now, number 12. I'm going to bet that at least, the very least, the nerd fighters who are watching can guess what my number 12 was. It just happened to be at the bottom of this stack that's on the stool right there. And it is The Fault in Our Stars. Now, yes, this book is awesome, and yes, you become invested in the characters, and yes, John Green is amazing, but the reason I love this novel so much is it provided the avenue for me to connect with the part of Indianapolis where I grew up. And I know that I've talked about this before, but I'm going back on Saturday, and every time I go back now, I think about how I got to go to these places with members of my family, and they got to see how I shoot video and how I go through this process of making the videos that I make, and that was an invaluable experience. So that's it. That is my top 12 of 2012. If you've got comments about what I read, or what you're reading, or about books in general, or you would like to request your very own feature shelf, you can do so by leaving a comment here on YouTube, or on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. I'll see you in a couple of days. Yay! I'm actually going to shoot that video as soon as I finish with this one. I am the supplier wishing you happy reading. Don't forget to be awesome.